Living in the moment and preparing for the future, it's not always an easy balance, especially when it comes to money. Our good friend Chase Wilsey with Wilsey Asset Management is here. Chase, good morning.
Good morning.
I mean, it sounds great, right? Let's live in the moment, man. Let's prepare for the future, man. Everything. It's easier said than done, yeah?
It definitely is easier said than done. I was just, I guess, a little disappointed with some of these numbers that came out from a recent survey around this concept of soft saving, which is just basically I'm not going to save, I'm going to live in the moment and enjoy the now. About 75% of Gen Z, which is kids 18 to 25, said, yeah, I'd rather enjoy my quality of life today than kind of set money aside.
Right.
And about 2/3 basically said, well, what's the point anyways? I'm not going to have enough money to retire down the road.
Yeah.
So why save?
Oh, it's so negative. I mean, and plus they're 18 to 25. That's the kind of mentality you're supposed to have when you're, I don't know. You mentioned soft saving of money. Explain really what that is. What is soft saving money?
I mean, it's just really, again, that mindset of just saying, yeah, rather than kind of have that mentality of I'm going to put money in my 401k, I'm going to put money in a retirement account, maybe even I'm going to put money away to save for a house. I'm just going to go buy the new iPhone. I'm going to go on trips. I'm going to go out to restaurants. And I'm not going to save money at all.
Right.
Which it's really a big problem.
Long term, down the line, everybody regrets they didn't do enough. And you always hear this. If you had put in $100 into this or that, starting at 22, 23 years old, by the time you hit 40 or 50, you would have had X millions. Is that still the case? And should people just, you're not asking for all of their iPhone or traveling money. You're asking for maybe put in $100.
I mean, I actually have some great numbers for you that really illustrates that point.
Yeah.
Is if you save $500 a month at a 9% annual return rate, it really starts to compound and grow for you. After 10 years, you'd have about $100,000. Doesn't sound that exciting. After 20 years, you'd have over $300,000. But here's the kicker. After 40 years, you'd have over $2.3 million just by saving that $500 a month. Now, a lot of times people, again, delay that saving.
Sure.
So let's say you were just to delay saving by 10 years. To catch that person saving $500 a month, you would need to save $1,300 a month, or nearly 3 times. If you wait 20 years to start your savings plan, you're going to need to save $3,500 a month, or 7 times the amount that person that started saving $500 a month. So the point here is, you don't need to be stashing everything away. You still want to enjoy your money. Don't get me wrong. That's why you make money. But try and make little savings along the way and start investing, because the earlier you start, the easier it is down the road.
It all goes back to the basics of budgeting. We're talking about budgeting for the holiday shopping season, but like, you know what? A little chunk for your savings for your future, but people don't tend to think 10, 20, 30 years down the line.
Yeah.
And until you get there, you're like, man, I should have done that.
I mean, because the big problem, as I said, is, I don't want to say it's easy, but it can be done to set aside $100, $200. It's like, you can find that money. It gets a lot harder. You wait 10, 15 years. It's like, well, now I got to find $1,000, $2,000. That's a lot harder to get.
It takes discipline, and those cocktails are $20 a pop. So you have a couple of cocktails, there goes your, when is this not a good idea?
I mean, obviously you do have bills. You have to still make your payments. I mean, if you're racking up credit card debt, you need to make sure you're not having that high interest debt. So it really has to be, again, that mindset of starting the budgeting. You can't be putting money away and investing and racking up large bills. You need to fix that mindset first. And then once that's fixed, you want to start as early as possible, because as I said, that compounding takes hold. And I always tell people, now your money is working for you rather than you working for your money, essentially.
How can we make the most of our savings? People watching now, maybe that, you want to tell them, okay, start now. And I said, the viewer might be pumped up. Okay, I'm going to start right now. Wait, what do I do? What? What did he say? What can we do to make the most of these savings, saying that we convince 1 or 2 people to start doing that?
Of course. I mean, I always tell people it's really never been an easier time to invest, to actually take hold of your financial future. I mean, the easiest thing you can do is, if you have access to a 401k, start taking place in that 401k enrollment. The big thing too is, if employers match, guess what? You don't have to save $500 a month. You only have to save $250 a month to reach that goal of $500 if they match at 100% essentially. So that's the easiest way. And the other thing I tell people, don't be afraid to invest, because yes, right now people are falling in love with bonds. They're falling in love with CDs, and oh my gosh, I'm getting 5%. I said a 9% return in the long term, it's very reasonable if you invest properly. Don't fall in love with short-term vehicles for your long-term investments. And you have to understand there's going to be movements up and down, but long-term, you look down the road 5, 10, 15, 20 years, who cares if you were down 5% one year when the long term you could average 9%?
Great advice, especially now when people are thinking about spend, and then deal it in January. This is a good time to maybe stop and think about the money you have and how you're going to make it work for you. Chase Wilsey, you are the man.
Hey, thank you.
Happy holidays. Thanks for being here. We'll be right back.